In today's video, I'm going to show you how to install Porsche OEM lightweight carbon buckets onto a 991.2 911 and go from this to that. Installing it is pretty straightforward. What I did on the driver's side was, first I slid the seat forward and backwards. That allowed me to access the screws. The front screws are hidden under these tabs that you simply slide over. After you unscrew it, you have to lift up the seat, and not only do you have to undo the plug, but you also have to unclip one of the clips. After you remove all of that, you can simply remove the seat, and it's very straightforward. Now, it goes without saying that before you do any of that, you have to disconnect the battery. Also, make sure you protect yourself, put a piece of towel on the latch just in case the trunk decides to close itself on you. This job is pretty straightforward. These are the common hand tools that you really need for this thing. 10 mil, another 10 mil for the battery. You need a 17, a pick tool, a rivet removal tool, some snippets. What I don't have here is a set of zip ties. Felt tape is absolutely crucial, and that's really it. Okay, let's get to it. Before you disconnect the battery, you want to slide the seat backwards if you do have 18 or 14-way seats. And there's a little clip here that you want to undo. Essentially, you want to lift this tab and pull the plastic. Once again, lift this plastic, and the whole thing comes out, revealing an E13, but you can also use a regular 10 mil. But no, you are not yet ready to disconnect the battery. You have to undo these 10 mil bolts, because to access them, you have to slide the seat. You can't slide the seat while the battery is disconnected, so you have to have the power connected while you undo these bolts. And now you slide the whole seat forward to access the same set of bolts in the back. Now you can center the seat. Before you do anything in this step, you have to disconnect the battery. Now that the battery is disconnected, you can simply move the seats to the back, and there are two things in here. You have this clip here that needs to be removed from its frame. There we go. And then you can use the same tool to remove this harness, because this is really the only thing that's connecting the seat to the car. To do so, you basically slide this thing out, slide it fully out, and this will allow you to slide this connector out. Now we can gently move the seat out. This is probably the best angle for me to show you. You basically slide it out, grab something at the bottom, and not the most gentle way of doing it. Yeah, this is not how you do it. No, but essentially you kind of want to do it like this. Bend it and slide out. And of course, now is a perfect opportunity for you to vacuum under the seat. But even though I purchased the seats so they can hug me better at the track and they really look a lot cooler, there's also the weight component. These are supposed to be a little lighter than the 18 ways, so we're going to find out. I have my scale in my pocket. Before we do that, we're going to remove the extinguishers. I just have to be able to clip these seats somewhere. This might work. Not the best way of doing it. It also fell on my foot. Take two. I found a more secure clip. Let's see. These weigh at exactly 63 pounds. This should be a little easier. Holy smokes, 41 pounds. So if my math is right, that's 22 pounds lighter than the OEM 18 ways. 44 pounds that I'm extracting out of the car by switching to these buckets. Completely worth the price of a Volkswagen Golf. I mean, it is, right? Now, there is some homework that we have to do before we fully transfer these seats. We have to flip them on their backs. because this reveals a couple of things. If you don't want to visit the dealer to program the actual seats, you do have to transfer one piece, and that is this box. So you can see on the OEM 18-way seats, the box is right there, so we're gonna have to get to it. On the buckets, it's pretty exposed, it's right here. Also, we're going to have to move the seatbelt receptacle, and this is it. To do it, it's pretty straightforward. You have to unscrew this 17-inch bolt, and then unclip it from these clips, unclip it, and then this is the gray plug that it's sitting in. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. And this is how you disconnect it. Super easy. You see, you pry this out, and then it simply comes out. Make sure you grab the other one right away and plug it in so you don't get confused, and screw it back in. And this will ensure that you don't have to code your car at the dealer. If you notice the part number, made in Mexico, this is related to US occupancy sensor requirements, which means you will not find it in Europe, which also means you only find it on the passenger side. This does not exist on the driver's side. Now it's time to remove the seatbelt receptacle. Now, you can buy the $1,200 per pair OEM set of receptacles, then this step is not necessary. There's gonna be a step needed that I'm gonna show you in a little bit, but let's now trace this gray box. In order to give ourselves some room, let's just move this out. Yeah, push it in. And there you go, it slides back. And then down here, the same thing. You see you have this little clip and you have this clip. And once you unclip them, this is the seatbelt receptacle plug that comes out. It will be zip tied in some places. So you wanna make sure that you try your best to remove the corresponding zip ties. So there's one here, there's one there. And this is what it looks like after you fish it out. Actually, I completely forgot. You do have the second plug. That's an occupancy sensor plug that you have to undo here. But if you trace the wire, it's really no big deal. Next, you grab a 17 and remove the actual seatbelt receptacle. This we're not going to reuse, so we're going to zip tie it here. The bolt you could reuse, but we do have a set, so we're going to leave this here. Then you feed the receptacle. You snug it with this bolt, and while you snug it, you will feed the wire as best as you can. Now, given that we have a lot of carbon fiber everywhere on the seat, we don't want to get any rubs or anything. So I'm just going to take this felt tape, and I'm just going to wrap the whole cable in it. And now we can trace everything to its appropriate location. As you trace the cable, you realize that everything fits in this box here. However, the occupancy sensor plug doesn't fit. It is connected to a ground wire here. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna extend this ground wire here to give it some room. Let's pull this guy here as much as possible. And behind this pillar, we married them. And now this will wrap here on the ground section. I'm gonna wrap it around this bolt here. And then I'm gonna take this screw and screw it all in. We can now wrap some vinyl tape, electrical vinyl tape around it. And this guy gets inserted here. You basically slide it in until it clicks and it's good to go. And then you can slide this box back in. And now, whatever loose wires that you see, you simply use your zip tie friend. For example, here, clip it. And in case any of these things touch this metal piece, you want to just wrap it just so you don't get any unnecessary squeaks. Greetings from the future. As I was editing the video, I realized I didn't do the seatbelt info justice. So let me go into specifics of what the problem is and what is my brilliant solution, which I refined over the last couple of days. The problem is that if you do reuse the OEM seatbelt receptacle and you attach it the proper way, this is what happens. Essentially, the seatbelt receptacle is bent in, which means getting into the seat would be very uncomfortable because each time you get in, your butt would be bending it out. You would have to bend it out. Not a very comfortable solution. Now, an easy solution is to do the following. You undo it, and then you simply flip the seatbelt receptacle and you tighten it. And of course, after you tighten it, everything looks good. This is how it's supposed to look. However, the button is on the inside, which means getting out of the car would be uncomfortable because you have to stick your finger on the inside of the seatbelt, which is, again, not a very comfortable solution. One workaround to this is you get yourself one of these seatbelt extenders and you simply put it in and reverse it like this. That means whoever gets in can put the seatbelt in and can get out the right way. You see, the button doesn't have to be on the inside because, see, if the seatbelt is here, it's very uncomfortable to stick your finger in there. That way, when you get that little flipper, person can get out easy. Nice and simple. But to me, that was not the optimal solution. My idea is the following. I got these powerful magnets that I plan on taping here, and I plan on taping here. Hopefully, they are strong enough to basically stay in place while the seatbelt receptacle is tight. I removed the felt tape. I am also going to remove this because I want to use a double-sided tape to put the magnet onto the seatbelt receptacle. And then we're going to do the same thing here. And to do this job, I got two sets of magnets. I got these and I got those. I may have to double up on these if it's, let's say, not strong enough, but let's see. First thing we're going to do is we're going to tighten the seatbelt receptacle just so we can position the magnets in the right place. So tighten. And as you can see, they still stick out. So we're going to put a magnet somewhere here. So double-sided tape. Yes. Let's stick it in. Take it out. Squeeze it in. Actually works pretty brilliantly. Yes, there is a sizable gap, but the magnet works. Now there is a gap because it's a circle and it comes at an angle. You can't really bend it like this. It just doesn't bend that way. Another solution would be to put these magnets. So this magnet would sit a little straighter and it would probably attach straighter. However, the actual seat belt, see, I'm going to show you on this side, is curved. So it wouldn't sit flat against this thing. So you're going to have to pick your poison. In my case, this actually works very well. And it should get the job done. And now we can wrap the remaining of the seatbelt receptacle in tape. And in just a few minutes, you've got a perfectly working seatbelt receptacle. The OEM bucket seatbelt receptacle for the driver's side is $600. For the passenger side, because of that extra occupancy sensor mechanism in the back, it's $950 or so. So I potentially saved myself $1,600 by doing it this way. So if your carbon buckets don't come with seatbelt receptacles and you want to save yourself $1,600, this is how you do it. We're finally ready to put the seats back in, but before you do so, you do have to undo the seatbelt from the body of the car. There's a 17 bolt here that you have to pop the cap off of and undo it. Stick it under the seat so it doesn't get away from you. And this guy, you can insert back into the hole. We can now put the seats back in. They are so light. You basically slide them in and pivot, and they are in place. The beauty of these manual seats is that you don't have to reconnect the battery to slide them forward and backwards to access the screws. And this step you can do before or after tightening the screws, but essentially you want to put the seat belt back in. The way it works is it goes from under here and it attaches to this 17 mil. So seat belt clips in. Let's screw it in. Do not tighten it too much. You don't have to. Look how awesome. Check this out. Feels so mechanical. Now that the seat is back in, the screws are nice and tight, the plug is connected, we can go back to the past to continue the video. All right, the battery has been connected. Height adjustment works. Sliders work. My wife will absolutely hate these seats. Let's try this again on the driver's side. Seat in, your hand goes here, and you kind of go in. Nice and easy. Let's start the car to see if we get an airbag light. Nothing. I'm an old man. A couple of things. Headrest. We'll be replacing them with yellow stitch headrests, but ones that don't say GG3RS. I already have them. I'm going to do a separate video on how to do that. I'm also going to be installing a protector for this side and that side. That is very common for people to install it because it's a very common wear and tear item. I'll be DIYing that as well. I sourced a pretty affordable and a very high quality product. So I'm going to see how it fits, and if it does fit well, I'm going to share it with my lovely audience. Anyways, every tool and product that I mentioned, I'm going to link down in the video description. If you have any questions and comments, leave them down below. I'll answer every single one of them. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.